So, why are we doing part two? It's just something that you need to do at the end of the year, beginning of the new year, to plan for how you want the business to transition, what kind of marketing you want to do, take stock of where you're at, take stock of where you want to go, staff, team members, customers, services, all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into all of that. But so why are we doing a part two? Well, I want to do a much deeper dive into a few of the topics. I wanted to go much deeper, and I'm going to start sharing with you a very, very exciting training that I've only really done on a very elite level, on a one-on-one. And I'm going to start delivering sort of a little bit of that methodology and thinking, because it's how I built my own carpet cleaning businesses, maid service businesses, janitorial businesses, things like that. So what we're going to be talking about today is the goal setting and the planning for 2023.
Welcome to the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast, a show created to inspire carpet cleaning business owners to build their own thriving residential and commercial cleaning business. Your host, John Clendenning, has built and sold successful cleaning businesses for multiple six figures over his 30-year career and is the founder of Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters, a digital agency that turns your online marketing into a lead generation machine. Tune in as John shares proven tips, strategies, and expert interviews to help fast-track your success in the carpet cleaning industry.
So what we're going to be talking about, we want to turn off your cell phones, all that normal stuff, turn off Facebook. Don't be sitting here kind of noodling on your phone. I'm going to turn mine off as well while we're at it. There, put it actually airplane mode. I won't even get bugged. So do that. Like let's plan to spend the next hour together talking about how to make your business more successful, especially regardless of what the economy coming up does in 2023. We have no idea what's going to happen. There's the doomsdayers saying that we're in for a whole crap storm, and there's the other ones talking about soft landings and interest rates coming down, CPIs coming down, and things like that, and sort of just a soft recovery. We don't know. We don't run the world. There's other people that do that for us. So we're only left to do what we can do for ourselves. What I absolutely do know is that when there is tough times and difficult economies, whether it's locally, whether it's nationally, whether it's internationally, the businesses that set themselves up to strategize, plan, and effectively deploy the right strategies, the right thoughts, and be willing to dodge and wait for results and then move and that kind of thing, and are really, really effective, win. The rest of them, it's a shaking out period, and they go out of business, they leave. So you end up with more room to grow your business. There's businesses that can grow massively during slowdowns. There's many, many businesses over in history that they had their biggest growth during slowdowns, and then as soon as the slowdown's over, they just skyrocket. So if that wants to be you, whether it's revenue wise and you're just a 1 or 2 or 3 man show, whether that's you want to be adding trucks and now there might be more employees on the marketplace as unemployment happens. Google just laid off 12,000 people in the last couple of days. Those kinds of things are happening. So they're not saying that a Google employee might be our best employee, but there's a trickle down in the economy. So there might be better employees coming available as well that will now see your job position as attractive if you're willing to pay them well. How are you willing to pay them well? You're willing to pay them well because you market well and your ideal customer comes into your business and sticks with you and doesn't start looking around every single time for somebody new. You're not always chasing, new low-end customers. So that's what we're going to talk about. It's an exciting topic, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it. So let's kind of move through that. So we're going to set the goals, three fundamentals of marketing success. We'll talk about that. How to optimize your website. We'll get in a little bit about that as well. But the big picture is where we're going into a little bit more about latest trends and a customized action plan. So we're going to really kind of change the focus of what we're talking about in here for this next hour. So we laid the general foundation and groundwork last month. Let's get a little bit deeper. Stay to the end. You'll get the link to our resource doc pool. So it's a Google Drive full of all kinds of things that will really, really help you guys run your business better. Things to scorecards and checklists and all of that kind of stuff as well. So who am I? Well, if you don't know, go buy the book. And if you don't want to buy the book and you want us to send us a free copy, then because you're interested in maybe working with us, reach out to Rima. We can talk about that because we lots of copies of the book. But on Amazon, author of The Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for Carpet Cleaners. It's a great book for carpet cleaners, home service businesses, maid service businesses. If you're in the cleaning industry or a home service, this is the step-by-step latest blueprint. 17 chapters, 300 some odd pages of exactly what you need to do to optimize your business online to get the maximum amount of leads and be seen as the local authority. Everything that's working today, right now. So that's in that book. It got launched a few months, 6 months ago, I think now. But anyways, I started my career in 1990 while still in high school. A lot of you guys know that. Started actually, in a business class and wrote a thesis paper on how to get a loan and an executive summary and a business proposal. And for brownie points, take it to the bank and get the bank manager to rate it. He didn't just rate it. He actually said, I want to give you guys the money. This sounds like a great business. So we decided, my buddy and I, Scott, that we were going to start the business up, and we started a window cleaning business in high school and bought ladders and vans and all that kind of stuff and ran that successfully for a number of years. Got into high-rise window cleaning, jumping over the side of 40-story buildings. It all came out of that business class. He went off to college, early 20s, and I started going in a different direction and built up a janitorial company, bought franchises in carpet cleaning, and just started the journey that lasted in that world 30 years. Started consulting partway through the 2000s and helping people write better Yellow Page ads and get 10 times the result for the same spend, things like that. And then speaking around the world and then starting doing 3-day elite retreats. We're going to talk a little bit about that actually, because the elite retreats were on a very specific framework that we built on how to optimize and run a service-based business properly. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well, more than we've ever talked about before. And we're going to talk a little bit more of that during the year, and especially for our members, our mastermind members, our clients. There's going to be a lot more content about that as well, because I think it's really important as we wonder what this economy is going to do. We're not just going up and up and up every year like it has been for the last 12 years. So we're really going to dive into how to be successful regardless of economy. So anyways, I sold my my high-end, my final business. I sold all the other business off, built them up, sold them for double, triple, quadruple what I bought them for if they were existing, and then finally sold off my final brick and mortar business in the middle of the pandemic at a premium price to the owner of the business, who was one of our managers at the time, so who now runs the business successfully as a automated, everything ready, done there for you, documented, and just step-by-step click together business that just had to walk into and take over. So that's what we're going to talk about for you guys as well. That's the ultimate goal. I don't know, if you're a one-man show, one way you can think about it, you want to grow to have multiple employees so that if you hurt your leg, who's going to go out and do the cleaning, things like that. Hopefully you want to be at least a couple crews on the road. Once you get to a couple, 2 or 3, you don't need to be in the truck anymore if it's your primary income, because that's enough to kind of support. There's more of a management role needed in the company as well. So there's certain levels that are very predictable in the cleaning industry if you price yourself right, target the right customer, and kind of plan your growth cycle that way. And we can talk all about that as well. So hopefully that makes sense. That's a little bit of my background and a little bit more about what we're going to be talking about today. Kind of more importantly is, what do we do for other clients? Like when we got clients that are up 55% over the previous year in 1 month, a 40% increase in revenue in a year, number one all over the internet, things like that. It just, had a better year in 1 month than they've had in results in the last 2 years, things like that. So we've got clients that like what we do, because as a company, as an agency, not only do we just provide free training and all of that kind of stuff, we actually provide all of the resources that are in the book. We can offer as a in-house service and work with you. We call it done together marketing, because there's things you can't just hand over your marketing and go, oh, you run the business, you generate all the leads, I'll just go do the work. That even franchises can't handle that. Like, I've been in the franchise world, that doesn't happen. You have to be actively involved in your business, and we help teach you what the roles are, the best use of your time, and how you can do that while you're in the truck and have less time to be working on your business, and how you can move your way out of that as well. So, and if you're already well out of that, then you know what we're talking about and how do you focus your time better and your technician's time and stuff like that. So, because what we try and do is we would actually make our clients the top cleaning brand in their local marketplace. So we want you to be attracting the best clients, whatever those are in your marketplace. And every market has a demographic and a market size. And we actually do all that research for you. And you know who your best clients are and where. We check out your competitors and how they're marketing to them and stuff like that. We want you to be able to charge the best rates in your marketplace. So there's no more competing for the lowest price. That is a commodity business where there's always going to be somebody coming in lower than you, even if they'll be out of business and bankrupt in 2 years. They come in, they try, they take the customers because it's all about the low price. Well, the low price customers go to the lowest price guy every time. The value driven customers, which is the majority of people, don't go to the lowest price. They want great value for their money. And that's actually what they're seeking. And all polls show that as well, that if in a hierarchy of what people are looking for when they're hiring in our cleaning space and home cleaning space, it's more about trust, about environmentally friendly, things like that. They want to know that you're a trained team, you can do the work right, you're not outsourcing and all that. Price comes way down the list. So we you know, as cleaners, a lot of times we focus on price, especially for new or young. When you realize you don't need to focus on price and you can focus on quality, it changes your marketing as well. So you want to be booked out weeks in advance for that. So how do we do this? Well, we leverage the 3 core principles of digital marketing success. You want to maximize your opportunities to generate a qualified lead. So where are those who are those people that you need to be targeting? Where do they live? Where do they show up? Where do they go and shop? Where do they look online? What do they physically do that might be different than your not ideal lead, right? So, you know, readers are leaders. There's people that still get the newspaper. There's people that still listen to the radio and the news talk and things like that. Those people are different than the ones that, you know, listen to, you know, a different radio station as an example. So there's things that as a company grows, maybe you're part of your audience. What do they consume and how can you get in front of them there? That's the opportunities. How can you maximize your brand impressions? Because another core principle is maximizing your brand impressions. So to your ideal customer again, not just everywhere, but to your ideal customer. What is a brand impression? Like your van is a brand impression. When you pull into a driveway and into a neighborhood, that's your brand impression. Are you maximizing it? What do we mean by maximizing it, right? So online, there's many, many ways that you can maximize your brand impression in a non-salesy way that gets goodwill and warmth and see you as the authority. And then are you maximizing your conversions? You can have opportunities all day long. You can have brand impressions all day long. You have tons of traffic all day long to your ads, your offers, your website, all that stuff, your social media properties. But if you don't maximize for conversions, you might get 1 out of every 5, 1 out of every 10 to actually reach out to you. When you maximize for conversions, you can get 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, the exact same ad spend, the exact same work that you're doing and effort, and you end up with a business that's 5 times bigger because you maximized for conversions. Big key point right there. So what's the hardest part about marketing your carpet cleaning business, your service business online? We know what it is. It's tons of options. It's unclear where, like, you got a budget. Well, how much do you budget? Like, that's a big question we're going to solve today. How much do you actually budget to not just online marketing, but your marketing in general? And then how much of that should go online, right? Let's talk about that. So you don't know where. There's so many choices. Is it SEO? Do you try and rank organically? Pay-per-click? Do you run with the paid ads? Do you do Google guarantee local service ads? Is that better than pay-per-click? It's still by Google, but is it better? Is your website important at all anymore? Right? Social media. Should you be posting on social media at all? What should you be posting? Should you be running ads on social media? You know, all that kind of stuff. If you don't know, if you like, there's things like retargeting and you know, funnels and all kinds of stuff. Like, what should you actually be doing? One of the things you should be doing is understanding where carpet cleaners in general get jobs from, right? What are the many places that carpet cleaners should be getting jobs from, and how double check which ones you're getting jobs from. So this is one of the things, if you stick around to the end, you're going to get this in the package of information. But you need to know, where are you getting your jobs from right now, right? How many, and on average, like some months one might get a little bit slower. We've got people that have come to us that all they ever did was Facebook ads, right? And all of a sudden Facebook ads got more difficult or slower or whatever. And now they've got, you know, that built their business. They got from 0 to 125,000 a year in sales one truck, maybe one guy in the truck with them, and then all of a sudden they dropped to 50,000. Why? Because somebody else came in and started marketing on Facebook as well. It diluted the pool. There was changes in the marketplace. I've heard the exact same thing recently about Google local service ads. It built the business and then it crashed the business because all of a sudden the average cost per call from Google local service ads went from $17 to $45, right? Or you wouldn't get a call at all, right? So now your math changes. Well, if that's the only source, you've got a problem. If you've got Google ads and Facebook ads and a budget, and each one of them you're putting $1 or $2 in the slot machine. So you put, for every dollar you put in the slot machine in ad spend, you pull the handle, and you're at least going to get $3 out. Do you stop that? Right? $3 out for every dollar you put in. You put $100 in, you get a $300 job. Well, the $100 went to pay the ad. The $200 paid for the solution, the time, the tech, you, profit, and now you've landed an ideal client that can repeat with you, refer with you, and that future is free. Like it's very inexpensive. You don't put $100 in to get $300 out. You don't put $1 in to get $3, kind of idea. So because it's now a repeat client, you just you stay in touch with them and reach out to them on a regular basis, and they'll come back if you did a great job and delivered a quality experience that they want to come back to and refer. And that's an important point we're going to talk about in a minute as well. So you think about that. If you've got all of these sources running and you don't do them all at once, you pick a couple at a time. The first quarter of the year, that's what we're going to talk about goal planning. What ones do you want to do? Do you want to set up your Facebook ads better? Do you want to set up Google Maps so that you get into the Maps listing? Because you're going to get 20, 30, 40, 50 calls a month if you're there. If you're not there, if you're not in that 3-pack, for most of your service terms, you're going to get 1 or 2 calls. Do you want 20, 30 calls or 1 or 2? Because somebody's getting the 20, 30 calls. It's just not you right now. How do you get there? Well, there's a whole bunch of things that need to happen to start influencing, Google to move you up in there. Organic rankings. 50% of the people still move down below the Maps listing on a Google search. Google only accounts for 60%, 70 on a high end of the searches for your service. Of that, 50% of the people that search go down below the pay-per-click and the maps. They go down to the organic. Do you want to be there? Because that's a larger volume of people, but that's the people that are reading and want to learn more. Is your website ranking for all the keyword terms they could possibly type in? About 10,000 or so active keywords in the carpet cleaning space and variations of those that people type in to find the service providers that you should have an answer to. And how do you have an answer to it? Well, that's part of SEO and organic rankings. Over time, you build that up, and now you have an asset you can sell to somebody else because your business shows up and ranks because of the asset value that it has built over time. So you got to be thinking of these things. Where do you want to invest your money to grow your business in the short term and have that foundation continue to be built in the long term? And it even includes offline stuff. Are you popping into flooring stores? Are you talking to interior designers? Anybody reaching out to realtors? Do you have maybe a service that reaches out and books appointments for you to have a conversation about being a referral partner, things like that? Or you do it yourself if you're bootstrapping. Like, do you have any of these things in place, right? Are you on all the online directories? Have you Judy's book, Angie's List, or Angie's now without the list? Are you on Yelp? Are you all over the place? Are you getting leads from your optimized listing on there? It doesn't mean a paid listing, but is it well optimized? Is it constantly being updated every month? And therefore it kind of triggers the algorithm to move you up a little bit and things like that. You've got to be thinking of all these things. Are you putting door hangers, like the 20 around, not the 5 around, not 1 on either side and 3 across the street? 5 on either side, 20 across the street. Is it a nice neighborhood? You better be brand impressions, online and offline. That's an example of that. Are you doing every door mail or at least geo-targeted postcards with a geo-targeted display ad? They see your postcard in the mail, and they also, as they go to CNN and WebMD and the Weather Network, in the exact same neighborhood, they see the same graphics on the postcard following them around in the sidebar of these ads. Or on these websites they search. You can do that. Are you doing that as part of your branding? So lots of things you can do. Which ones are you doing? You need to figure that out. But marketing's a major investment. I just told you a whole bunch of stuff. And you're going, yeah, John, but who's got money to pay for all of that? And that's a good question. Again, it's that $1 in, $3 out. If you're putting $1 in and getting 50 cents out, you're going to be losing money. If you can buy a customer for even at break even, sounds terrible, but at break even, cover all your bills, all your overhead, and just break even, right? No profit. Your accountant's mad at you. You made no profit from that customer. Your repeat customers, your referral customers, all profitable, wildly profitable. But your new customer, ideal customer that's going to use you for years, break even. If you can make some money on them, great. But even at break even at a loss, if you know your numbers well and you've got a great stable business behind you, you can even buy new market share at a loss. I've done that many times over my years. Not in the beginning, but once you're at scale, that 4 or 5 years in, sometimes a little bit quicker, but 4 or 5 years in, usually at a scale where you've got a base, you've got predictable recurring income, 20, 30, 40,000 a month coming in from your base of clients that come repeat, that you've got database marketing going out to and all that kind of stuff. I got a base going. Now I'm willing to take some of that and expand into a new market or a new marketing platform, right? So people that go to Google see you on Google. People that don't go to Google will never see you on Google. Why? Because they don't go there. People that go to social media will see you on social media. If you're not there, invest some money. Now you've got those people too that would never find you here, but are only going to find you there. So think in those terms. That's really the way to think about this. So you don't have much to show for it. Again, you're putting money in and it's not coming back out. How, are you even tracking that? Do you know how to track that? We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So the fail is obviously you're not doing enough. You're spending too much money. You don't see it coming back. You don't know how to track the ROI of what is growing your business and the ROI of like separating that from the repeat and referral clients. Like that's one base, and and then what are you willing to invest from that in the growth, and what's the ROI of each one of the avenues? Doesn't mean that the avenue that's got a 10-to-1 ROI is better than the avenue that's got a 3-to-1 ROI. It just means that the 10-to-1 ROI might only generate you 3 clients a month. The 3-to-1 might generate you 40. Can you support it, right? Do you have enough of a base that you can continue to grow your database? Because you know full well that once you've got a client, you're going to see them once every 9.3 months, not once a year at 12 months, not once every 2 years at best across average, but you've got an average of 9.3 months of the year. So, 9 months and 7 days or whatever that works out to, 6 days. Is the average duration until you repeat your average client. Some never see again. They moved out, they left, they died. The other ones, more often than that, every 6 months, and all in it averages down under a year. If you know that, you buy clients anywhere you can at break even or better, right? So, and then you do have money to show for it, and you know what that all means. So that's the opportunity. Right? So what I want you to do is go download the workbook. I'm not going to pause on the workbook right now. It's got a lot of the stuff we're talking about, but it's the thinking tool. You grab a coffee, right? Some of you big Yetis like I use here during the day, keep it warm all day long. I'm not a fast coffee drinker, but I'm a big coffee drinker. And you sit down, close the door, turn the phone off, and sit down, print off the workbook, and think. The most invaluable point about owning a business is not doing. It's not the area rug you just cleaned. It's not the carpet you just cleaned. It is the thinking and strategizing that you finally did, so that you do something new this year that you didn't do last. You do something new this month. You thought of a way to say something better that lands you that next commercial client better. You do a quote. You wonder why you never follow up with a quote. We were just talking to one of our clients about this earlier today. And, yeah, if you go to 10 commercial quotes and you only land one, right? And you go to 10 and you land 5 or 6, what's the difference? It's not about the cheapest price, right? If you're only going on the lowest price, you're targeting the wrong commercial business, and you're not pre-qualifying them, right? But a proper commercial business doesn't want to, can't be goofy high, but they know the lowest guys are not going to deliver the value either. Can you explain why you should be the choice? Can you influence them in a way to be the choice? That's strategically thinking. So we were talking about things like offer to do a demo while you're there, or let's bring the crew in. What's your dirtiest area? Let me bring the guys in. I'll do that for free. I just want to show you why most people who reach out for us for a quote end up choosing us, even if we're not the lowest price, because we're in the ballpark, but we offer so many more services and a better value and a better service, right? Things like that. If they go with somebody else, Did you follow up and say, hey, how'd that turn out? If there's any problems, let me come in for a second opinion. Let me go look at the cleaning they did and see if there's something more that we could have done for you, if that matters to you, right? You pop back around, things like that. That's strategizing. You strategize, your business grows. So thinking is the most important thing you can do. So go here, carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/2023-workbook. Don't need to go through it right now, but download it, print it off, have a physical copy of it, and fill it out. So you need clear goals. You need to generate enough leads to hit your goals. So what are your goals? How do we figure out those numbers, right? You need to have a return on your investment. So you need to know area by area by area what's happening. What are the key metrics? How many visitors are coming to your website? Where are they coming from? And like just on a website alone, there's just some numbers you need to know. And then how many are converting? How long are they staying? How many pages are they going to? And then how many are converting into filling out a form? Did you know that on a good website, 95% of the people won't fill out a form? If you can improve the conversion optimization of your website to say that instead of 95% won't reach out to you right away, they'll just think about it, go somewhere else, forget about your website. And if you're not following up with them, if you're not asking for their email address in exchange for something really valuable so that you can now chase them around a little bit, if you're not doing any of those things, you don't have any conversion elements, right? Your website isn't a great return on investment. You can get a lot of traffic to it and it doesn't generate anything. On the other side, you could have 10 people show up on your website and at least 5 of them reach out to you. Because your website's designed properly. It's got conversion elements. It speaks to what they're looking for. It tells them your guarantee and why you're different. And it makes them go, oh my God, I need these guys. Target the right people, get the right people to your right properties, and then have the right message on there. Your return on investment's easy. So this is what I want to talk about is, so again, it's the training called the Blueprint for Success that I've developed 15 years ago. So as part of our coaching program, a consulting business that worked with franchise networks and individual operators and large businesses. And it is the master plan for running your systemized service business. So I talk a lot about the concepts from this with a lot of our clients one-on-one during our monthly or quarterly meetings. We go through various aspects of this kind of thing, but I'm really trying to bring it back as more of a formal training within our client mix, because I think it's going to become more and more important as 2023 and 2024 develop out. And also it's such essential. So basically what it is, this is the exact blueprint. And it's what I developed to turn my business into an automated cash generating machine running virtually on autopilot, which allowed me to sell it for multiples, like a lot, a maximum value when I sold it. And all my businesses, not just the carpet cleaning one I just sold, but this is what I did with, back in the day with the maid services and the janitorial services and all that, and the flood restoration, the duct cleaning, all the businesses in the middle of that, 30 years running carpet cleaning, but adding these other elements, growing them, shooting them off when it made sense, things like that. All of that was part of this process, and it's been trained to dozens and dozens of other cleaning business owners, probably over 100 now, in Canada, US, Australia, New Zealand, and through one-on-one consulting to walk them through these things. So basically, we'll talk a little bit more about this, a couple of the pieces of this today, but ultimately it comes down to making sure you have your foundation right, and then your business is divided into 3 very strategic components. And there's the before the sale component, anything that happens before the sale, the awareness phase, the follow-up phase, like the whole prospecting and the funneling and the secondary responses and all that kind of stuff. Then there is the during the sale, from the moment they reach out to you to the moment you walk out the door and say, thanks, ma'am. Right? And your crew is done. That is a during the sale moment. And every single piece of that has to be congruent with the before. It has to be based on your desired view that you're putting out into the world that's unique to you guys. Compelling sales proposition is called. And then and it needs to deliver to the client something that they just go, oh my God, I can't believe that was amazing. And it's not just meh, that's what I expected. Right? Amazing gets referrals and repeats. Called remarkable. They're willing to remark on you. Are you remarkable? Are you able to be remarked on? If you're not, you haven't built this yet. And then the back end is the follow-up. That's a whole separate business. How do you follow up with everybody that's been through? What is your follow-up and client retention referral system automated, running on autopilot look like? So that's the blueprint for success for home service businesses, carpet cleaners. It's very formulaic. It works brilliantly if you put the pieces in place and slowly grow through it. You've got 3 separate phases of your business. Every month, every quarter, you're putting in a balance across each. You're putting in a new before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale process, dialing it in, automating it, locking it in place, and moving on to the next. And your business is incrementally growing month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. In 10 years, your business is light years different, inside and out, than the business that started. It doesn't look or feel the same at all because it's improving, constant and never-ending improvement, very structured. So how do we get there? How do we get there? Why are we even saying any of this stuff? Set clear goals. First step. Without goals, you are a boat sitting in the middle of the ocean with no wind in your sails. Which way are you going to go? And how are you going to get there? Right? Are you going to start rowing? That ain't going to get you anywhere. You need goals, because goals act as the wind in your sails. They are pushing you in a direction. And the cool thing about having goals and that wind in your sails, the analogy is brilliant because you can always tack. Right? You don't have to just go in a straight line. You can make an adjustment based on the data and the marketplace and the changing conditions and aim slightly this way. And because it's never a clear path. You ever look at the stock market? It doesn't just go up and up and up or down and down and down, up, down, down, up, 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 down, 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 up, up, up. So does your business, right? You are aiming and adjusting along the way based on the data that you got. And you can't get that data if you don't even know what you're aiming at. Right? So Harvard study, won't spend too long on this, but basically Harvard graduates, 1979, they were interviewed as they graduated. And do you have a specific goals? 84% didn't, 13% had goals but didn't write them down, 3% had clear written goals. Not surprising when they followed up with that same class over the decades later, 13% of the class who had goals were earning on average twice as much. This middle group was earning twice as much as the group that in the interview said they didn't have any goals. They thank you. I just graduated Harvard, for gosh sakes. Imagine that expense on, themselves or mommy and daddy's money, or the loans they are going to pay off until they're in their 50s. And they didn't have any clear goals. The ones that did, 13%, had twice as much, earned twice as much income. Period. Staggeringly, the 3% that had actually clear written goals and a plan to accomplish them, they actually graduated with a goal and a plan and had it set out before them 10 times as much as the other 97% combined. This 3% earned 10 times as much as all of the incomes of these guys combined. Why? Because that's what you set your brain on it, right? Brian Tracy, success is goals, all else is commentary. It just means it's, some people believe in the power of manifestation, a higher power, speaking to God, speaking to the universe, all of those kinds of things, and getting back vibrations, all that kind of stuff. Who knows if any of that stuff, like we don't have any way of proving any of that stuff is legit or not. But what I do know is that if you think about something long enough, if you're like a little kid and you obsess and obsess and obsess and obsess and obsess over that thing you really, really want, and you mention it all the time, and mommy, please, and I really want that, and you obsess over it, does it show up in your world? Because you're focused on it, and it becomes, children obsess until they get, right? So, and it gets a little annoying. But if you do that with your own brain and you can tap into that, you obsess with the goal, you picture it, you know what it is, you lay it in front of you. You don't just write it out once and look at it next year. You write it out, and what's my quarter going to look like to get me there? What does this month have to hit to get me to that quarterly goal? That quarterly goal is going to get me to that annual goal. What's the growth rate look like? You dial that in, you write those numbers down, and we're going to show that in a minute. You do all of that. You've now put that in front of you, and then you keep it, you review those. Some people every single day just have that monthly goal mark. How close am I to that monthly goal mark? How close is that getting me to the quarterly goal? There's a reason why charities have those, barometers or thermometers, and they just keep adding, coloring them in sometimes if it's, at the local store. But why? Because it's now you're visually seeing your goal every day and you aim at it harder. So you need to have written goals. You need to set a minimum of 1 year goal. 5 year goals don't really cut it anymore. There's too much change in the world. I'd say 1 year goals for sure. 3 year is a sort of that next larger number that makes more sense. Quarterly and monthly. You must have a stopping point at the beginning of each new year and each quarter where you reflect. How am I doing? How am I on pace? What's working? What do I need to adjust? So what are your KPIs, key performance indicators? What numbers do you care about? And how is that adjusting for you, right? So is it the number of phone calls? Like that could be one. If you know that you book 70% of all calls and that part doesn't change and you watch that, then the number of phone calls could be a key performance indicator. How do I get more phone calls? In today's day and age, phone calls don't quite cut it because people want a text message and, web chat and all of that kind of stuff. So then we call it, messages. So between phone, email, and text, they're all as immediate as a phone call in today's day and age. You don't let a text message or even an email go 5 minutes. You don't, because you wouldn't have let a phone ring and ring. Hope they leave a message. I'm going to get back to them tomorrow. You know how those calls go, right? So if it's a repeat client that absolutely wants you, yay. If it's a repeat client with an emergency, by tomorrow they found somebody else anyways, and you've lost them for life, right? We know that we're in an immediate world. So at the very least, treat every email, every text message, messenger, any of those DMs, all of those, and phone calls with the same urgency, right? But what is that number? What is your key performance indicators? What is your revenue target? What number are you at right now, and how much do you want to be at next year, right? What is that? And how are you going to grow through to that? How much is that monthly, right? So if you're talking like there's 12 months in a year, 10,000 is 120,000, right? If you want 10,000 a month, if you want to get, if you want to hit $360,000 next year, that's $30,000 a month. But we also know that there's slow months and there's busier months. So you can factor that in. You get to be strategic, right? So, but you can break it down as a crude. The first quarter is always a little bit lower. I need this much first quarter, more the second, especially if in the northern climates where there's snow outside I'm staring at today, or it's raining and cold and sitting around freezing, that kind of stuff. How many jobs will that require? And what's your average job value? So as an example, you want to hit 550,000 in revenue. How much is that? Well, that's 45,800 a month, right? We know that, and we can adjust for the months on our own, but we know that that's that raw number. If we're over that, we're on target for that. If we're under that, and we can always check what did we do last year. Do you go, oh, last year I did 100,000. This year I want to do 500,000. Probably not realistic, right? Probably not a realistic goal. Can you go from 100,000 to 200,000? Yeah. You can double if you've got the right infrastructure in place. You've got, who you're hiring and training and doing and what are you upselling and how are you changing your business. By all means, the smaller the numbers, the easier it is to double. Can you take $1 million business and double it on your own effort without buying an existing one or buying all your competition out? Probably not, right? You can take $1 million and take it to 1.1, 1.2 million, right? You can do some of those or add a whole new service and see if that on its own generates 300,000 because of your database and you know what you're doing, right? Maybe you can take 1 million to 1.3 because of a new service. That's goal planning, but you got to be realistic. What's your average job? If your average job is $125 and you want to get to $500,000 in sales, that's a lot of jobs. That is how are you going to get that volume of jobs. If your average job is $375, $450, we got some clients that are over $500 is their average cleaning job. They do 2 of them a day. Maybe one job is a $1,200 easily, at least several of those a week, and that technician goes out, that's his day. Might have a little bit of time to drop off an area rug or something like that, and that's his day. Does that work for you? What is your average job, and how can you find those people that have no problem paying that price? Because it's not about cleaning a urine-soaked trailer. It's about cleaning a 2,000 square foot condo with white carpet and white furniture. And today they're getting the carpet done, and next week they've scheduled you in to do the furniture, or vice versa, and maybe come back and do the tile if you guys do that, right? So that's the difference, right? So do you have those people in your marketplace? What people do you have, and how many do you have? Do you have golf courses? How many people live around the golf courses? Is it 1,000 in your whole service area, or is it 50, right? Know your service area, know your numbers. How many jobs does that require? So what is the average conversion rate from inquiry to book job? You need to know that by source. So what is the average across all? This is another key performance indicator, right? Another KPI. What is the average rate from inquiry? Because you know everybody inquire. That's not hard to count. There's digital ways and tools, and we've got services that count all of that. Like one of our services is called Carpet Cleaner Lead Pro. It's a standalone product as well, but it's actual lead management system. All your leads come in there and it manages, it reaches out, it nurtures, it warms them up, it helps you jump into the conversations, you can text message back and forth, you can email, you can call, all that kind of stuff, and you're managing the lead all the way through to a booked job. Now you know all my leads that came in, how many from inquiry by source to booked job. Know that number. Can you improve that? Right? Don't have to get any more leads if you can improve the conversion rate. Is that a better script on the phone? Do you have scripts on the phone, or are you winging it and your staff? Better script on the phone, that's higher conversion rate. Simple math, right? So if you go from booking 40% to 60%, right? That's a 50% increase in conversions. That's a 50% increase in jobs. Do you want a 50% increase in jobs? If everything stays the same, that's a 50% increase in revenue, right? And divide your calls by your conversion rate, your messages, your inbound leads by the conversion rate, right? You'll know how many leads you need to get to that number, right? So average conversion rate 50%. For our example, you would need 244 leads to hit that target. Right. So what we want to do is you want to go to, this is just another worksheet, carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/2023 worksheet. Let me pull that up. Let's see here. So carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/2023-worksheet. Not workbook, that was the other one. Let's go there. Hey. So you have access to this. You can make a copy, go up in the top corner. It actually mentions it somewhere in here. Our logo's coming in a second. Not sure why that's loading so slow. Yeah, your file, make a copy. Now it's yours, right? Just save it on your Google Drive. So you've got view only access. Pop in and do that. That's step one. Step two, click here to watch a training. This was basically watching how to go deep in this. This was last year's training on it, right? And then start planning your success. So again, in this example, whatever your number is, like, did you hit 450,000 last year and you want to hit 550 this year? Maybe that's the number. Maybe you want to hit 200,000 this year. Just put your numbers in, right? It'll automatically, anything in white you're putting your number in, it'll automatically calculate what the monthly revenue if you divide that by 12 is, right? Pretty simple. What is your average ticket value? You should be able to find it. If you're using Service Monster, Marquette, House Call Pros, anything like that, go find out what your job average was last year, right? It changes month by month because certain months are better than others and different things happen. But what was the average last year? For all the jobs you went out to, what was the average job, right? And I would do residential in this case. If you're mostly residential, like 80 or 90% residential, I would break it out by residential at this point. Adding commercial can sometimes skew the number, but whatever works best for you that way. It'll tell you how many jobs you actually need, how many service calls a month to hit that number, right? So again, 122, that would be 4 trucks on the road, 3 trucks on the road. If you're averaging 15 jobs a week per truck, that is 60 a month. That's actually on 2 and a bit trucks, right? So, if you're doing 3 jobs a day, 5 days a week, 15 jobs a week, that's 60 a month. 2 trucks would get you 120, right? So you can run a $500,000 business on 2 trucks like I did. What is it with about a 375 job average? What if your job average is only 200, right? Now you need 220, you need 100 more jobs to get that. You need a whole other truck on the road minimum and 100 more jobs coming in because you're just rattling through, you're just churning, right? So the higher you can get your job average, the less work you need to earn the dollars. What is your average conversion rate from inquiry? So it's not even just, call, blast, /lead to book job. Check all your sources. Every source is going to be slightly different, but what is your conversion rate from a lead to a job? We know that our repeats are 100%, our referrals are about 90%, but what about the other ones, everybody else, right? Who's just finding you cold? What is your average conversion rate? If you can get that number to go higher, you need less leads to get your 122. Right now, if it's 55%, you need 222 leads a month to get 122 jobs because you know your average conversion rate. So on average, we now know our math, right? And what is your average cost per lead? Second tab over. So you can put in your numbers, right? What if LSA is now starting to get closer to 45, right? That changed that to 32 bucks. That's your average cost per lead coming through there. If you know the exact number, just type it in here. Otherwise, just type the range in here and it'll estimate it for you. Now we know our average blended cost just to get the phone to ring from pay-per-click, LSA, Facebook ads, repeat and referral, because that's your outreach, your marketing, your mailings. How much do you spend per client, A-list client, to get them back? Any SEO? How much do you spend to start ranking your Google Maps and all that kind of stuff, divided by the number of people that call you from those sources? Do you even know that? That's all trackable with call tracking numbers and form automation, all easily trackable. So now you know it's 28. That just changed to 28 over here. We now know we need to spend about $6,000 a month on marketing if we want to hit about 14%. That's going to be $6,000 a month, because that dollar amount times that many people equals 6,000. And we know 14 is pretty close, because when we go to the third tab across, right, there's that number there. I strongly suggest you keep this in mind. 15% is the rule of thumb. That is, if you're already at scale, you've been in business 3 to 5 years, you're at scale, 15% will be your marketing budget across all your marketing, database marketing, taking the real estate agent out for lunch, doing all of that stuff, doing your home show. And if it costs $1,000 to have a booth in the, at the home and garden show, and then generate leads, have a contest, all that kind of stuff, do giveaways, and then generate a database and call them and get bookings out of it. That's the way you run those, by the way. 15% is now that you're in the game, you've got authority, people know you, that's of revenue. What's next year's revenue? Spend 15%. 20% is when you're in growth mode. First year, people just starting out, I say 25% even. Spend a quarter of every dollar back into marketing to get the next customer. Like, just you invest it back in, start growing. Some of it's the foundational stuff that's going to take a while to grow before it starts really showing you. But if you never start it, you never get there. Other, it's just going to be the pay to play, right? How many leads did I get? Am I working the leads? Did I get them? How many booked? And you're just running the numbers, right? But 10%, you're probably looking to sell or retire. Like, it's really, if you look at your dollar, your investment in your marketing, and it's only 10%, you're not marketing your database. I can tell you that well. At all. You're not getting repeat and referral customers well. You're maybe putting it all into lead generation for new customers, and the business is sort of like grew to a point and then just seemed to pause or even start falling backwards. 10% is sort of like in a service business industry, not enough across all your marketing, right? Because you want to break it down about 70% online now. Why? Because everybody's online. That used to be offline. That used to be yellow pages and flyers and all that kind of stuff. It's now online. Offline's about 20%, right? So offline is, as you grow and your numbers are bigger, offline might include back of buses and awareness and things like that, and every door mails. In the early days, offline is going to be your yard signs and your door hangers and, again, taking the real estate agent out for lunch, and maybe pack like your pens and paper that you're going to drop off at the doctor's office. Walk in, hey, I just here's an offer. Here's something we're doing right now. By the way, I just meet and greet. Here, I'm a local carpet cleaner. Here, everybody can use some pens and paper. I just want to leave some of that behind and let you know a little bit about us. Blah, whatever. Like, do you have any spot or stain I can take out while I'm here? Great. Here's a little offer we're running. Look forward to hearing from you. If you need a quote at all, let me know. I can do it now. I can call back later. And you just meet and greet. That's part of your offline because you're handing out stuff, right? So just think about it that way. And then 10% is repeat business. So these two numbers, 30 all in, they can be 15 and 15, but know your numbers. So on this budget, 77,000 would be online marketing to generate a $550,000 worth of work, because all in it's 110. Out of 110, like 450,000 or 550,000 is your revenue. 440,000 is after marketing, right? We know that technicians are going to take a percentage of your business, like the gas, the solution, and the technician. That's roughly 50%, roughly. So you can start running your numbers, and now we're left with 30% left for overhead operations profit, right? And that's decent in a functioning business like this. You're generating a really good cash flow, right? But you need to put it into marketing so you maintain and grow this number, because it will not stick on its own. People don't show up without being marketed to. You are not the owner of a carpet cleaning service. You are, as a business owner, first and foremost, you're the marketer of a carpet cleaning service to generate the revenue and the capacity to run the business. If you don't market, you'll never get to that second step. You are the marketer first. That's the mindset you have to have. So hopefully that makes sense. So now you can see the breakdown if it was even, but you can always change the breakdown per month. These numbers are all, like, there's some formulas in there, but they're all flexible. You can just type in your own numbers, and it adds to the 100%, right? So you always want to add up to the full percent of the online, offline, and repeat business. But this will work that out, help you work that out for you. And then where do you split that up, right? Where do you split up the online? My world, right? We help with all the others, but and consult with the rest. But where do you split the online? Well, you need to lay that foundation. You need to be investing in organic rankings on Google Maps and Google across thousands of keywords. Anytime people type in questions around the services you provide, do you have an article on that? Over time, you will. If you do it properly, press releases and articles and all, and you'll be shown as the authority. Do you have a video on that? Have you talked about it? Did you have TikTok on that nowadays? All that kind of stuff. Is that, like, you want to rank for a lot of stuff, you need to invest in that. So 35%. 55% roughly should be your paid ads. Facebook, Google ads, local service ads, things like that. So as your budget grows, you can find more of it. Starts small, you can only do Facebook, or you might only be able to do local service ads. What is your monthly budget? How does it work out? And now as your company grows, that percentage changes. That 55% of the online budget changes this number, annual part of that, to a much higher number. You've got more room, right? So as your company grows, the percentage doesn't change. It's just the dollar amount keeps going up because it's now supporting that, and it just keeps supporting and growing. And the percentage of profit doesn't necessarily change, but the dollar amount of profit goes way up because it's the same percentage of a much larger number. So that's the way you need to think of that. So then now you know what the investments and spends are. So we work through this with our clients that want to do budget consulting. And then you can actually go third tab. I've added this in now. This was usually only for our strategic partners, but you can get right into this and decide what offers you want across pay-per-click, email, social media, SEO, and even retargeting around the web, display ads and retargeting at the different times of the year. You can plan your whole entire online calendar across all of these, and we gave you some examples of ones that we run for our clients, right? So anyways, so hopefully that was valuable. Hopefully you see the value in that right there, but that's what we want to go deep on, is you want to spend a lot of time. I want to spend a lot more attention today talking about why that's important and how to go about it. Right? So what are your goals for 2023? And how many leads do you need to get there? If you know that, you've literally got the keys to the kingdom, right? Then from there, it's about updating the messages. We spent a little bit more time on this last month, so we don't need to go deep on this, but it's really about the market, the message before you figure out the media, the who. Who is the market? Who are you targeting? Who are the people you want as your ideal customer? And it's not everybody, and it's not the cheapies, and it's not the trailer parks and stuff like that, unless you want to be the best cleaner for all the trailer parks, right? Then adjust your business to that. What does that look like? What does that sound like? What does that feel like? How do you state that? Why is it different? Why you over anybody else? You want to be the only carpet cleaner that's the best carpet cleaner for condo buildings. Well, have you ever called a carpet cleaner and they tell you, they can't come in because their hose doesn't reach up that many floors over the balcony? No, we exclusively clean condos, their hallways for the condo management and the tenants. We have a very exclusive company with a lot of people living in condos maybe are a little bit more high end as well. And you have a different message, right? So who you're targeting determines what you're saying. And then it determines how you're getting in front of them. That's the whole idea. So who is your ideal target customer? Right? You need to figure that out by knowing the demographics of your area. That data is available on Info USA and a lot of places. What is the demographic of your? How many people in your marketplace own homes? What's the average price? What are the areas? What's the density? There's real estate agents that you can hit up as friends that can help you with that as well. But you need to know. Is it realistic what you're planning to target? Who your competitors look like they're targeting? Most competitors don't understand, like 90%, 95% of your competitors are just me too, me too, me too. We call it marketing incest. They just look at somebody else and do the same thing. You might have done that as well. Call around 5 or 6 competitors, get their pricing. Okay, that's my pricing. Hear their message. Okay, that's my, you know nothing about scripts. You know nothing about targeting it. Well, if you know who your absolute ideal person is, and we talked about this last month, so we won't get into much detail, but if you know who the person you want to target is and their frustrations, right? Now you can understand that you can start thinking about their fears and desires, right? You know this stuff. You can look this stuff up, but you can ask people in that demographic. You might not be your ideal demographic, and that's fine. You might be, but you might not be. Your ideal demographic might be, people in $1 million or more home because of the marketplace you're in. I know people in Beverly Hills that is who they only target. There's clients of ours that target high-end areas like that. In New York and Manhattan, only people that have high net worth, right? Because now security is more important to them. What are their fears? Theft. They want to know that here's what do? You send a background check of every one of your employees coming in to their home, right? There's a whole bunch of things you would do differently. You spend way more time in their home, but you charge them more for it, right? Think of it that way, right? That's once you know your customer avatar that you want to target with your business. I know people that only carpet cleaners, carpet upholstery cleaners, but they only target luxury yachts. Why? Because they're in Miami. And I know another guy in Tampa Bay, exact same thing. Carpet cleaning business that only targets luxury yachts. Why? Because now they've got a totally different message. They talk about how their cleaning isn't going to damage, the moisture damage or cause more moisture problems. In fact, they're going to be drying things up. Like there's a whole different message that the average homeowner doesn't care about. Right? So if you can see Joe Jones through Joe Jones, then you can sell Joe Jones what Joe Jones buys. Right? So what we're talking about, so the reason why I wanted to bring back at this moment, bring back the blueprint for success is because now at this moment, who you're targeting, what the message is going to be, and now you need to know where are they? Like what media are you going to put that in front of to get a hold of them? You've got that clear in your head now that you're at this point of setting goals, right? So again, today on this call, do I expect you to be there? No, but you know this stuff. So now we talk about the blueprint for success that starts with the foundation, right? So, and I'm actually going to go in reverse order here just for a second because it'll make sense in a second, but risk reversal guarantee. You already have the liability of a guarantee. If somebody's not happy, you better be going back to fix it. And if they're still not happy, you better be giving their money back, at least for that section or the whole home. Quiet them down. Don't let them go online and start complaining because that one complaint is going to cause 10, 20, 30, 50 other people not to choose you that see that at some point in the future, right? You don't know when and who. It's going to, you don't know what slowed you. But if you've got negative reviews, at least while they're the number one, until they filter down, that's going to affect you for a while. But people are also going to go look for the train wreck. They're going to go down all of your reviews. If you've got like a 5-star rating on Facebook or a five-star rating on Yelp or on Google, all your reviews are 5 stars. That's not believable. Nobody does that. That is definitely a scam. You paid for those in some way is what the people are thinking, because you can't be perfect. Nobody can. You actually want some of those reviews that say, hey, they screwed up. They had a guarantee. The guarantee was they would come back and fix it. They came back and they fixed it. I love these guys. Right? That might not be a 5. That might be a 4.9. Why? Because you had to come back. 4.8, 4.7. You had to come back, but you fixed it. That's a brilliant review. Right? Even if it started as a 3-star review because you didn't have a system in place to, hey, are you happy? Are you happy? Like a survey system, not just give me a review, but an actual survey system that jumps in as well, serving the voice of the consumer. I'm the owner of the business. Were you happy with what my technician did today and the way my office and everybody handled it? Are you happy with the middle, that during the sale moment? That should be asked about every single customer, right? So risk reversal guarantee. You're guaranteeing your job. You'll do the work better than anyone else. If your guys say I can't get the stain out, and they find anyone else who can, you'll pay the bill for that other person to get the stain out. Why? Because you should be able to get them all out. Or you don't have enough training. Your company is not set up well enough to actually be able to provide a high-end service. Maybe that's why you charge less for now. And up your rates and find better customers because they want to know you're their guy, you're their gal, you're their company. Compelling sales proposition. That's something I've always heard about, a unique sales proposition. It's very unique to be the only carpet cleaners that show up in a clown suit. That's incredibly unique. It's not compelling. Who cares? Who's going to buy the carpet cleaner that shows up in a clown suit, right? That's unique, but it's not a compelling sales proposition. What is your compelling sales proposition? What does that word proposition mean? It means, what are you different? Why you over the competitor? What is compelling and unique and compelling and about your business? Do you have a 29-point checklist? Do you do this? Do you do what are the things that you do? Do you offer your risk reversal guarantee? Do you on and on and on? Do you call ahead of time? Do you make sure do you make exact appointment times? If you do, then you have to adjust your company that you need to give a huge window between jobs because anything can happen in our business. But I've seen some companies try and run exact windows or exact arrival times and not a variable window of arrival. And then, you better be charging. That better be something that your ideal customer cares about. I want to know exactly when they're 1 o'clock. They better be at my doorstep at 1. Well, then the last job should be wrapping up between 11:30 and 12 because in case he runs late, he's still got to be there at 1, right? Because you've guaranteed that, right? So you want to have a compelling sales proposition that meets your ideal client avatar, right? Some people don't care about that. It's like, hey, I'll give you a arrival window and we will call en route, right? And we're going to call before the window starts to let you know where in that window we're going to fall, and we're going to call when we're 20 minutes out. And now you have to have a routine and have your technicians taught that, but that could be part of your compelling sales proposition. Never wait around to know when we're coming. We'll always call an hour ahead. We're going to give you an exact arrival window. We'll call an hour ahead, and we'll call when we're within 10 minutes of arriving every single time. If you can structure that into your company, you've now got a compelling sales proposition, one of many, right? And then an engaging customer experience. This has kind of gone by the wayside, and I don't know why. Some companies get this. A lot of companies don't. But this is the Disneyfying of your business. A good friend of mine, Vance Morris, runs an entire company based on how he's a carpet cleaner. Long since now, he doesn't clean the carpets. He has teams, but he runs a business that helps other companies, not just cleaners, but other companies Disneyfy their business because he used to work at Disney, right? But the whole idea, and I learned this years before I even knew Vance, but building an engaging customer experience, we built that into all of our companies. Anytime we bought out an existing company, we built an engaging experience into that flow. That is the during the sale moment, that middle hat, before the sale, during the sale, after the sale. From the moment the phone is picked up, is that engaging? Is there a customer experience orchestrated? Have you got the scripts? Do you know what is being said? How is it, or is it, hey, how's it going? How can I help you? Right? Is that engaging? Or is it, hey, it's a great day here at ABC Carpet Cleaning. How can I make yours even better? That's more, oh, Jesus, whoa. Happy, smile. Everybody knows. Even if you just got yelled at, you're in a pissed off mood. How did your office girl answer the phone? How did your office guy answer the phone? Does everybody on the team know what that's all about? Did your technician call ahead and I was like, this is Alonzo, I'm coming over now? Or is it, hey, how's it going, Alonzo? I'm your technician from ABC Carpet Cleaning. I'm on my way over. I'm about 10 minutes out. I can swing through Starbucks if you want me to grab you a coffee. Alonzo's a whole different dude now, right? Is that engaging? Have you built that in? Not just a wing in it and Alonzo does but can it be put in as a process, right? Thought about. They have a map of every single Starbucks in town and they actually can make this happen. Who knows, right? In Canada, I'm from Canada. In Canada, you can make that happen with Tim Hortons. It's on every second street corner, literally. So you can always say, would you like me to bring you a Tim Hortons, a Timmy's coffee? And you could. And we did. We did that only on Saturday jobs. I'm not going to lie and say we did that every job. Every Saturday jobs that we had, the technicians I gave them Tim Hortons gift cards that they could use to buy the coffee. They just have to bring the receipt back, and they could even buy one for themselves if they wanted. I would pay their Saturday coffee because they're working overtime. And the customer would go, yeah, I take a double. Perfect. No, I'm fine. I just put on a pot. Perfect. Whatever. It's part of that phone call, right? Engage in customer experience. You arrive. You put on the booties when you walk in the door. Are you going to take your shoes off and walk around in sweaty socks? And there's not a customer on the planet that wants to see those sock marks on their hardwood floors as you get towards the carpet or whatever, right? So no. Are you changing into indoor shoes? Always do that when you're cleaning. Obviously, don't be walking out across the yard back into the house in the same pair of shoes. Customers know that. You have to train this in as an experience. Disney called it casting, that you didn't hire employees, you hired cast members. They didn't even have HR, they had central casting. Why? Because everybody had a role to play, and that's why Disney is different than any other theme park you go to. It's designed for an experience every moment. You walk within 10 feet of somebody sweeping the grounds, they look up and they nod at you. You walk and smile. You walk within 5 feet, can I help you with something? Right? You ask them a question, they pull out a map out of their back pocket and at least walk you at least halfway there, if not all the way there, before they come back to their role of sweeper. Sweeping still needs to be done, but that's the role they're playing until somebody comes near them, right? And they don't shy their eyes away. That's, there's a lot of policing. Does it always happen? More often than not. It's designed to be more right than wrong. It's behind stage and on stage. Anytime you're in front of a customer, you are on stage, and they have mystery shoppers running around the park at all times. Why? Because that's how they deliver the experience that people are willing to pay 2, 3, 5, 10 times more than any other theme park and still show up in droves regardless of the economy. Think of it that way. So can you build that into your company? Well, definitely jeans and a t-shirt don't cut it, right? So khaki pants and polo shirts with your logo on it and your color scheme or whatever. And 2 more in the van, so if they get sweaty, dirty, stained, whatever, they can switch it up so they always look nice. Things like that. Buy your technicians deodorant and have it in the console, right? So that if they got smelly, let's smell good, right? Put on the booties as you walk around. Hand the customer a laminate. Things like that. There's a way to build a client experience. So think of it that way. You set that foundation right, the rest of the blueprint, you're now wowing everybody you walk into. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's referring you. You have a referral program. Of course people are going to share it with their friends and family. Of course they are. Why? Because you just wowed the crap out of them. And then as soon as you left, boom, they got within an hour or two, the owner's going, how was it? Survey, automated, doesn't have to be manual, right? And then the next day, the office staff is phoning, leaving a phone call, right? That's nothing to do with Google. You're going to get tons of Google reviews. You haven't chased for a Google review at all. You've chased for actionable intelligence of the company, of how you did. How was the booking process? How was the arrival process? Like how was the cleaning job? How was the technician? Well, tell me honestly. I'm the business owner. I want to know. Right? That should be part of every job. So, what's your message? Why should someone do business with you versus your competition? Let's go back to that one. And what benefits do you offer that target your ideal customer avatar and they resonate with? Think of these things. Right? So some of the messages that work, we know that. Safe, natural, or eco-friendly, and that doesn't even need to be or. Have messages in your messaging. We're safe and natural, safe for your pets and your children, and blah, blah, blah. We use only eco-friendly, biologically degradable cleaning compounds. What's the next question they have in their head? Well, if it's that safe and friendly, is it going to clean my carpets? We offer the cleanest carpets, cleanest upholstery, the fluffiest, most thorough, all those kinds of things, or it's free. What does that mean? You get to qualify that. What do you mean, or it's free? Well, free, we'll come back and re-clean it. If you're still not happy, we'll give your money back on that area, because it's up to you, the owner or the technician, to set the expectations. Yep, can we get that out? Absolutely. And then you don't, that's your problem. Can we get that? Let me test. Let me show you. What I do guarantee is if I can't get this out and you find anybody else who can, our company's going to pay the bill for them to do that for you. So let me see, give me an assessment. You know what, that stain right there, I think it's going to lighten a lot. Look at my test here, but I don't think it's going to fully come out. You're going to always know it's there. Your guests probably won't. They're going to overlook it, maybe. It looks like it's going to reduce quite a bit. That's, right? So now you set the expectations properly. If they call up, yeah, I thought that stain was going to come out a little bit more. Yeah, we talked all about that. Let me come back and try again. Send the technician back out. You can see if there's anything else that can be done. But that one, we did say that was going to be difficult, and I'm not sure there's much more to do. Right? Come back, try again. 99.9% of customers, thanks. You tried your hardest. Right? Okay. So if they go, well, I really thought it was going to be better than that, then they're the pain in the ass customer. You know what? Let me take that off the bill for you. that stain was worth, up there, this room, that area, whatever, that's $50. Let me, would you like that, the company send that to you, or would you like it as a credit towards your next cleaning? Make them happy, have them, I wasn't happy, whatever, didn't quite do what I thought, and they gave me my money back on that area. I love these guys. You still get good stuff. Highly trained, trustworthy technicians, you can send that out. Fully bonded and insured, things like that. We'll send you our technician's background check before we arrive. Could be if you're, again, targeting very high-end people, things like that. Phones and chat answered live during business hours. You are on it, right? You tell people that in your messaging, that works really well. Honest pricing, no sales gimmicks, no hidden costs. Those kinds of things. We don't charge you, you can have exact quotes over the phone if you want to risk that and do that. We never did. We gave you very accurate estimates and exact pricing before we started. That was our role. Or we'd come out if you wanted to know exactly first, we gave you a range. We'd come out and do an on-site quote first. That worked as well because you always upsell them on the on-site quote. So same day, faster same day estimates, faster same day cleaning if you can qualify for it. What are these? These are the messages. Can you make a case for any of these, right? We always say don't give discounts, give bonuses. So if you get this, you'll get this half price for free, whatever, so that you're getting your core, you're getting your price. You're not teaching people to get a discount. You're teaching people to add more to get savings, right? Things like that. So those are things that they're all in the guide as well, and you've got access to this recording. So, so that's you're figuring that out. Now you can look at the media now that you've got all that, and you now need to. We talked about a lot more of this last time, so we're not going to get in this. Your website needs to convert. It needs to have conversion principles and psychology. All marketing is math plus psychology. Is your website designed by somebody who understands human emotions and web design and runs tests constantly and heat map testing to know what people are actually pausing and clicking on and not and stuff like that. If not, you need that, because done properly, you can find out where all of your jobs are coming from, how much you're investing and what your average cost across all your jobs are. And then, you can, if your website is converting well as the hub of your business, got all the psychological principles. Again, you're going to get access to this. Now you can pull up your website and compare it. Now you know that you have changes you need to make. Increase the conversions of the traffic you're already getting, and your website is more valuable. And that's where unconverted leads is. You have to be following up with everybody within 5 to 15 minutes. We automate this so that within the first minute, at least they get a message back saying, hey, got your message. Thanks so much. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Right? Or they go to your competition. Average customer must be followed up 5 to 7 times. Some people will book right away. More other people need to be dripped on. They said no. Some people say, oh, my booking rate, I only book about 20% of the leads I get from Facebook. Other guys go, that's weird. I book 80. 20% is that they only message them once. They only had that one conversation. That's 1 out of 5. That's if you follow up with them 5 times, all of a sudden you collect more and more and more. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a try. Do you know what you're messaging them back with, right? Interact by phone and text and all of it. So you leverage Carpet Cleaner Lead Pro is the tool we've built, but you leverage marketing automation to follow up. So web forms within the first 2 minutes, and it rings your phone. Somebody just filled out your web form. Press 1 now, and we'll try and connect you with them. You press 1. At your office or on your cell phone, it rings their number. If they're available, you two are talking. Why? Because it automatically rings you because they filled out a form. Text messaging comes right into your phone or right into your office screen, and it's chat to text. They get it on their text from the cell number that we embed in the back end. So now you don't have to give out your personal number. You're texting everybody, right? And you can start, if they, you go back and forth by text message, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room. If somebody isn't available right away, they want to send me some pictures. Okay, I'll send you some pictures. You've got that back and forth. Automation means that if it went quiet for more than 2 days, our system is going, hey, checking in with you and checking in with them, right? Just want to follow up, make sue that we've met your needs. Have you thought about? Did you actually get into our schedule to book, or would you like some more information, right? Because maybe we don't know, but you didn't. They booked and didn't mark the lead properly. So it's an automation that keeps them going, on and on and on, right? Looks like this: Carpet Cleaner Lead Pro, all sources, everywhere you can possibly get a lead. dumped into one database. Is there a DM waiting on Facebook for you right now, or on Instagram, LinkedIn? Is there a message on Google Chat coming in? Anything like that? You don't know. It should all go into one place, and automation gets the initial message to them and let them know, hey, I'm going to follow up with you here. And that's on their cell phone as text or a phone call, or the email goes right back out within a minute. Simple math, 100 leads, conversion rate's only 30%, no good follow-up. At average 325, 100 leads, you booked 30 jobs, you made 10 grand, $9,750. Same 100 leads, now you follow up with them over the next 2 weeks, even the ones that, and then even at the end of the month and every month, the leads that just didn't book with you yet, all of a sudden, all of those, 70% of those leads become customers of yours because they're ideally targeted. That's all given in both of these, but now you followed up better, you converted better, your website told them better things, your script told them better things. That's conversion math. Conversion, not one thing, it's multiple things. You told them in the automated flow, hey, you want to tell, hey, until I get you on the phone, I want to tell you why I started our cleaning business and why we're different. Do you send that message right now? If you don't, and you have a difference, which you should, and you send that message, you have now got a conversion principle built into your follow-up communication that none of your competitors are even thinking about. And now you've told them why you started your business. I was 24 years old, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I'll tell you more about that another time. But in the meantime, here's, and you just one paragraph and move on. Why? Because you're going to send them another message. If they don't call you or book back with you, a couple days later, a week later, they're going to get another message. Hey, just checking in again. Remember I told you, blah, blah, I started the business like that. Well, here's one of the things I want to guarantee. And here's one of our clients that just loved what we did, and you just drip on them, and they're either going to unsubscribe, which means that they were never your client, or they're going to follow along, and eventually you catch them 5 to 7 times before they book. And now, same number of leads, you've just more than doubled the revenue from them. You've put another van on the road. Right? So think about the conversion elements in the workbook as well. So we're done. Takeaways. Do you know your KPIs? Are you going to track them? Right? Do you know what numbers people are coming from? Do you know this is an exact live example? Do you know, like this live example, how many leads came in, the breakdown, your conversion rate, how much that generated in 1 month in actual jobs based on their job average, and what the ROI was of that across the company? $18 an average lead, $6,000 spent. That sounds like a lot. Not when you brought in $98,000 that month, right? $1 million carpet cleaning client that we have $6,000 in ad spend and marketing investment with us. $18 average lead, and breaking all of that down, including the marketing investment, the somebody managing the ads for them and managing the SEO and managing all of their marketing, their social media, all of that, and their ad budget generates $100,000 in a month, right? So, and by knowing that these guys went from 31% to 65% by putting the conversion principles in place, their business doubled. It took a year, it took time to move all that in place, but they went from averaging $50,000 a month to almost $100,000 a month on the same volume of leads. Right? Better leads, targeted more, but clear. So all in perspective is what we're talking about. That's the trends for 2023. You need to be doing more than just one source. It's got to be all in. You got to be doing video. We didn't really touch on that. We've been touching on that over the last couple of months on social media, masterclass and stuff like that. But more video you do, the better. We make videos for our clients who are shy on camera, and we even got ways to help you be on camera, and we walk you through it and then get some B-roll and A-roll and put it together and make media content for you if you're not good on camera. But otherwise, we just say, at the very least, don't put your face on camera, but share out actual before, during, and after images and videos, and have conversion optimization and artificial intelligence baked into your messaging from moment one. So go build your plan. I'm going to give you access to all of this stuff. And you got to set your goals if you haven't already. Jump on a call with us if you haven't. You're going to go to carpetcleaningmarketingmasters.com, carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/rewards. You're going to get go to the worksheets, the 2023-worksheet to get the worksheets. Go to this to get all of the other stuff we went through today and on last class. Go back and look at, it's on our website. You just go under the podcast area because it's a podcast as well, and find last month's, the December episode masterclass, and you'll find the other parts of this, why this is a part 2, and how much deeper we went on other topics built into the exact same conversation. Right? Our digital dominance method is this. We work with every client. You can see the risk reversal guarantee, the engaging logos, compelling sales propositions, all of that stuff, and conversion focused, all of that. That's the digital side of it that moves people into your business, digital dominance. But more, or as important, I wouldn't say more important, is the blueprint, where you're following the foundation. All of that other stuff that we just showed fits into the lead generation, secondary response, and some of the follow-up. All the rest of it here is running an optimized business that you have every single aspect figured out over time. This is like a multi-year plan, but how fast can you implement and automate? Implement, automate. Your business will grow and grow and grow. So every customer gets an amazing client experience, and then every touch point all the way through is orchestrated to continue to deliver on that client experience. So if you want to learn more about that, if you want to go deep on where you guys are, what your number is, if you're one of our clients, we can hop on a call and talk about the blueprint for success and what that looks like for you, and ways that we can help implement that depending on which package and plan you're currently in, and things like that. If you're not one of our clients, and some of this sounds interesting to you, do your planning. Go ahead and do that first if you want. Again, no, this isn't a sales pitch. This is, if we can help, we know how to turn carpet cleaner businesses into successful businesses. If you follow along, it's not done for you, it's done with you. There's a following along. There's stuff that every business has to do to make everything that happens online and offline even more impactful, and you tie the two together and build your brand up better. It works. We help advise. We do that stuff. We'll jump on a 60-minute consultation. Prior to that, you actually jump on a 5 to 10 minute sort of business discovery call with Rima, and she gets to know your business a little bit more, gets the certain data, sends it off to our research team. Same research team that researches all the keywords for our clients and researches all the for the SEO department and the pay-per-click department and all that kind of stuff, and all of the demographics. We do all that research for you for free. We're not charging you a dime. The value of that alone is about $500 with that, plus the step-by-step plan. And then you jump on a 1-hour consulting call with me. Sometimes it only goes half an hour if you have no questions. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer than an hour if you've got lots of questions. But we're building your step-by-step plan. I'm going to share where you are right now, where you need to go, and the strategy to get there. And that's with me. I charge $497 or $495 an hour. For my consulting time, literally do. I don't open up a lot of consulting hours, but I have several in the month and they're always filled up. I charge that. I give a free one of those selectively to very select people and and people that want the help with their business. If you qualify, if you're growing a carpet cleaning business and you're serious about going to the next level, then you qualify and we have a conversation. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's just a conversation. So these are all the things we do on that call. You get a hold of us, you just go to carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/schedule. You go there, you can book a time. It'll show up in my calendar first, but Rima will reach out to you. If you don't talk to Rima, you don't get to see me. This books you in, and then Rima goes through and does the discovery call, learns more about your business, gets the research team involved, and then you can meet with me. So when you do book a time, always make sure it's a couple days to a week out, so that you've got time to meet with Rima and got time for the research team to come in as well. I normally don't have openings earlier than that anyways, but just in case, don't book for the next day if one's available. It's not enough time. You're just going to meet with Rima then anyways. So anyways, hopefully you found some value in this. Hopefully you're going to go through this, maybe catch the replay, go slowly through it, maybe chime us, hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on our website. There's a chat to text on our website as well. The same tools we would use for our clients, we use for ourselves, and ask any questions you got. How do I do this? What about that? Whatever. Download all those resources. Really, really dive in. We're here to help. I hope that makes sense. I hope you kind of get that from everything we've talked about, because that's really what it's all about. If there's anything we can help with, give us a call. Otherwise, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks so much, and we'll chat soon.